My friend, who was about to get married, confessed to me that her son isn't her fiancé's. I decided to reveal the truth, and now she is having a meltdown, saying I destroyed her and her son's future. Am I wrong here? I've been sitting on this for a while and I feel like I'm losing my mind over it. I, 28F, have a friend, Sarah, 29F, who was supposed to get married last weekend. We've known each other since college, always kinda considered each other close, though we've definitely drifted at times. She has a 3-year-old son, Ethan, and up until recently, everyone, including me, thought he was her fiancé Mark's, 30M, kid. Mark's not someone I know super well, but we've hung out in group settings a few times and he always seemed like a genuinely nice guy. Whenever I saw him interact with Ethan, lifting him up, playing around, calling him buddy, it was like, wow, he's gonna be such a great dad and husband. I mean, he's basically been raising Ethan since he was born, as far as I know. So about a month ago, Sarah pulled me aside at a friend's birthday party. We were outside on the balcony, trying to get some fresh air. She was really quiet at first, and then she just kinda blurted it out, Ethan isn't Mark's son. She confessed that about 4 years ago, when she and Mark had been dating casually, but, I guess, exclusively, they hit a rough patch. Mark had just started a new job and was traveling a lot, and she felt lonely and neglected, so she had a one-night stand with this guy she used to hook up with before Mark. She swore it was just a stupid, drunken mistake, something she never planned to repeat, but, well, she got pregnant. She realized the timing didn't match up with Mark's visits and basically knew Ethan wasn't his. But she never told Mark. She just let him believe Ethan was his kid this entire time. My jaw hit the floor. Sarah was crying and asking me not to judge her. She said she wanted to tell me because she was feeling guilty as hell with the wedding coming up. She admitted she had no intention of telling Mark before the wedding. She was planning to just go through with it. I left that conversation feeling completely messed up inside. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this information? I think she chose to tell me because, out of our friend group, I have the least interaction with Mark. I felt like Mark deserved to know. He's about to legally bind himself to Sarah and commit to raising this kid as his own, under a lie. I tried to tell myself it wasn't my business. But I was feeling super guilty about hiding this. So 1 week before the wedding, after a group dinner where a bunch of us were celebrating the countdown to the big day, I pulled Mark aside. I basically told him, look, I'm so sorry, and I know this might sound insane, but I have reason to believe Ethan might not be your biological son. I think you need to talk to Sarah. I tried to be as gentle as possible. I didn't want to come off like I was gossiping or trying to ruin things. Mark just stared at me, asking me where I was getting this from. I said, I have my reasons to believe that. Please, just talk to Sarah. He simply nodded and said he'd handle it. I felt like puking the entire ride home. Then the next day, I'm getting texts from mutual friends saying, WTF did you do? And how could you say something right before the wedding? Sarah didn't talk to me until a couple nights ago, when we were all hanging out at a friend's apartment, sort of a what the hell just happened gathering. Sarah showed up crying, like, full-on ugly crying, can barely speak, and just started yelling at me in front of everyone. She said I ruined her life, that I blew up her future, and worst of all, I destroyed Ethan's future too. She screamed that I should have kept my mouth shut, that it wasn't my place, and that now her son might grow up without a dad. Except for one friend who tried to defend me, everyone basically sided with Sarah. They said I should have kept out of it, let Sarah handle her own shit, and not drop that bomb right before the wedding. I'm feeling absolutely terrible. I genuinely thought I was doing the right thing. I thought Mark deserved honesty. But now I'm watching Sarah melt down and seeing the devastation. I'm wondering, did I just totally screw up? I keep thinking maybe I should have just told Sarah that if she didn't come clean, I'd have to say something, giving her a chance to fix this on her own terms. Maybe I should have stayed the hell out of it entirely. I don't know. I feel so guilty now, like I personally just tore a family apart. I'm not sleeping, I'm crying randomly, and I keep replaying the whole thing in my head. Am I the asshole here? I swear I tried to think this through, but now that I see how it all went down, I just feel like a massive jerk. Any perspective on this would help. I honestly don't know what to think anymore. Top comment. You absolutely did the right thing. With how easy it is to get a home DNA test these days, the truth was bound to come out eventually, if not now, then years down the road when it'd hurt even more. At least Ethan is only 3 and won't remember much of this mess as he grows up. Update. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thanks for all the support and advice in my original post. I read through every single comment, and it really helped me get some perspective. There's been a lot of fallout since I last posted, and I guess the biggest update is that the wedding is officially off. Apparently, after I talked to Mark, he went and got a DNA test done. He texted me a few days later, basically confirming that Ethan isn't his biological son. He was a mix of heartbroken and pissed, but weirdly enough, he actually thanked me for telling him. It gave me a weird sense of relief, but also made me feel even sadder about the whole situation. Mark was a good guy who really loved that little boy, and now he's dealing with the reality that he was living in a lie for 3 years. As for Sarah, she's completely cut me off. We haven't spoken since she freaked out on me in front of everyone. I tried reaching out once, sending a message just to say I was sorry for how things ended up and that I never wanted to hurt her or Ethan. But she never replied. Honestly, I get it, she's dealing with a massive fallout of her own making. I don't think she's handling it well, from what I hear through mutual friends. She's moving out of what was supposed to be their new place together, and Mark isn't talking to her. He's apparently trying to figure out what role, if any, he wants to play in Ethan's life going forward. He hasn't made any promises. I can't imagine what that's like for Ethan, who's too young to understand any of this, just that dad isn't around as much anymore. A few friends who originally sided with Sarah have since apologized to me. They said they reacted emotionally in the moment and that they realize I was stuck in a terrible position. One friend even said something like, "I would have wanted to know if I were Mark," which I think sums it up. I'm not saying everyone's on my side now, some people still think I should have stayed out of it. But the hate I was getting right after it all blew up has definitely cooled down. I think everyone's just sad and tired now, if that makes sense. I would have preferred Sarah come clean on her own. I still feel a little guilty. But Mark's message, thanking me, made it a bit easier to live with. As for Ethan, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I hope Sarah figures out how to navigate this as a single mom now that the truth is out. It's just a crap situation all around. Anyway, that's the update. Thanks again for being there when I needed somewhere to vent.